Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be showing you how I make these videos. I don't know how in depth I'm going to be on this, but the idea is to give you guys a sense of what it's like to make these videos and hopefully inspire some creators out there to make some videos. Without further ado, we shall begin. Okay, so the very first thing that you consider is the actual filming. So I use a DSLR that is basically like, if you know nothing about cameras, a DSLR is it's a more professional camera, but you don't have to buy all this gear. You can really just use your phone. In fact, to film these videos, I have a DSLR and a shotgun mic on top and the thing's on a tripod, and I have a big light with a softbox coming at me and this background. Like, it's a whole rig, right? You don't need any of that. If you want to light yourself, I'd recommend just going in front of a window. Most smartphones these days have incredible cameras, so you don't need to worry about buying something else. And what I've found, at least, is that the quality is more so there to make yourself happy. Now, it does make the overall viewing experience a bit more entertaining and cohesive with the rest of YouTube, but it's not necessary. You can make do with what you have. Okay, so the next thing is really the idea for the video itself. What are you going to make a video about? And for me, this week, it's about making videos. How meta. And for these videos that come out on Saturday, I try and make it so that they have some sort of narrative. Not necessarily like a 3-act structure of setup, conflict, and resolution, but just one main theme that connects all the different talking points. Okay, so you have something to film yourself with and something to say. Now you need to edit that all together. So you are aware, I edit these videos on iMovie. And I like editing on iMovie not because it can do a bunch of stuff, but because it can't. Because there are limitations to it. It only really gives you the bare minimum of what you need to actually make a video. It's actually similar to how Jack White makes music, because he funnels all his creative energy through this idea of 3, the bare minimum. He comes from upholstering, and he was looking at the bare minimum of staples needed to basically staple fabric onto the back of a couch. You couldn't do it with 2 because the middle would be flapping, and you could only do it with 3. And the same goes with the table. A table will stand with 3 legs, but with 2, it'll topple. And the point of this is that simplicity, that limitation, actually allows you to do more creatively, because it cuts out all of that unnecessary realm of possibility and really forces you to work with what you have and put the work in. Sometimes when you have a bunch of options, you don't know where to go. And when your road is reduced from 360 degrees to one street, you know what direction to go in. And that's the idea behind editing on iMovie for me. Its simplicity and limitation allows me to actually create more. For editing, the first thing that I do is mess with the color settings for the footage, just to make it look a bit better. And because of how audio sounds where I'm filming this, I will go in and add a bass boost just to compensate. But you would obviously add or leave it alone depending on what your video sounds like. I'm looking at this as solving problems, not adding stuff on for the sake of adding stuff on. Your goal is to actually make it so that there is no thought about quality. It just looks the way it should look. And by looking at it in the way of problem solving, you go, okay, the video does not look how it did when I was actually in that setting. Let me adjust the settings so that it looks more accurate, so that it looks better than it does coming straight out of the camera. Same with audio. Generally, I don't touch the audio. I leave it be. But with the way that audio sounds in here, I noticed a problem when I began filming here. It was sounding tinny. The frequencies were uneven. There was way too much treble and not enough bass. There wasn't enough support on the lower end of the frequency spectrum. And so I fixed that problem. Problem solving. Not adding stuff on for the sake of adding stuff on. That's the way that I generally look at things creatively. The next step is editing. This is where the real work begins. These videos generally take around half an hour to shoot. I'm at the 11-minute mark now, so I'm actually flying through this.